Hey Arsenal fans, Neomis here. Now for today's video, news just dropped like a couple of hours ago. It seems that Arsenal have actually had a bid accepted for Ben White. And I just had to give my reaction, not just on that, but also on the fact that Dinos Mavropanos is gone. Deal's been accepted. Before I get into kind of Mavro, let's talk about Ben White first, because I think that's probably the more prevalent news that's going on right now, and then we'll get on Mavro. So I was shocked to see that a few hours ago, Ben White, um, Arsenal had a bid accepted. I thought this thing would have died down in regards to Ben White, but to see a bid accepted for Ben White, now Mavro is gone. You would have to say that I expected Mavro to go out on loan. I didn't think that it would be an option to buy, sorry, an obligation to buy for Mavro. So there's a good chance that he's off. Now Ben White looks like he's going to come in and it's going to be for 50 million or 45 million and 5 million's worth of add-ons. And it looks like Ben White to Arsenal is how it's going to be. And it's, again, Arsenal addressing issues that don't need to be addressed right now. You know, we have defenders. We do not need so many defenders. But I do understand why Arsenal have gone in for Ben White. I put out a video a couple of weeks ago, last week sometime, talking about Arsenal and, you know, Arsenal looking to sign English players and why I thought they'd be interested in Ben White, because they've got a low homegrown quota, and it looks like that's really what it is. And you know what? Ben White's not a bad player. I think he's a very good player. Would he provide value to Arsenal? Yes. Do we need him right now? No, I don't think we need his talent. But if it means that we're selling one player in order to bring in another, then I'm open for that. What it would also make sense is that another player would go as well. Probably either like Mari or Saliba. That would make sense for me. On top of that, because we don't need to have a big squad. Right now, we've got Rob Holding, we've got Gabriel. Obviously, the talks on Ben White, and then it would be Mari, and then you have Saliba. Like, I don't think there's any need for Arsenal to have 5 centre backs, and technically it's 6 if you include Callum Chambers. And even though Callum Chambers is probably going to mainly be used as our right back, you could have to say if things did happen, he can always deputise for being like a 4th or 3rd choice or 5th choice centre back if need be. So there really isn't need to have, for me to have any more than 4 centre backs at Arsenal, particularly for next season. But if the stories about Saliba are really true, and a loan potentially, and I could see probably a loan with some type of like obligation to buy or an option to buy going there, you know, it's just ridiculous. How do you spend 28 million on a guy and he doesn't even start for Arsenal? But I'm glad to see that Ben White is coming for Arsenal. Like I said, I think he'd be quality. But I just think it's just an issue that just wasn't needed to be addressed right now. But let's see how things go. Maybe things will start to shape up. Maybe Mari or Saliba will get sold, and then it would make a little bit more sense, because then I believe we would have the right amount of centre backs. But I don't believe Arsenal need to have more than 4 overall. And then on the other hand, you got Dinos Mavropanos leaving the club. For me, that made sense. I probably would have sent him out on loan as well. I don't think he would have gotten a chance to start. And I know a lot of people's notion on this is that, well, he plays with 3 at the back at Stuttgart. But let's be really honest. He's played with 2 at the back before. He did it under Wenger for a little while. Did it under Emery in 1 game. He can play at 2 at the back. So, like, that's no excuse to say, oh, because he plays 3 at the back, he can't play with 2 at the back as well. I mean, that's absolutely just ridiculous. But he's gotten the loan that he needs. It's a shame that he didn't get an opportunity. My guess is that for him, it was probably more so to do with the fact of Arsenal needed to trim their squad, because Arsenal do have a big squad and do need to trim the fat. I don't believe he was part of the fat. I think there are other players, Granit Xhaka, that needs to kind of go and do all what they need to do away from Arsenal. But I think there could have been an opportunity for Mavro, and it's just the kind of wrong timing, probably wrong manager, in my opinion. But I think he's going to go on and have at the very least a decent career. But I believe that Arsenal have enough in place to kind of move on to the point whereby we can look back to say, you know what, thanks Mavro for the memories, even though they were kind of short-lived, and go and enjoy the rest of your career. But what does this mean for Ben White? Ben White now will be an Arsenal player, at least according to Chris Wheatley online and several other sources from The Athletic talking about him as well, saying that Ben White deal is done. Will Ben White start? And that is something that I'm very interested in finding out. Now, Ben White is predominantly right-footed, and I would be quite surprised if Rob Holding was dropped. Because Rob Holding, for me, I mean, you might not like him very much, but this past season, I would say that he's been pretty solid. He's always been a decent defender. Sometimes his awareness around needs a bit of work, but still a pretty good player. He brings versatility to Arsenal. And I really do believe that if you're signing Ben White for 50 mil, he's starting. I'm sorry. Ben White is starting. Rob Holding is going to be on the bench next season. Neomis is calling it out right now. Ben White will start next to Gabriel, and it will be Holding Mari as the backup. You don't spend 50 million on Ben White and have him on the bench. I don't see it. I really don't. Now, if we're bringing in Ben White to be a right back because he is versatile, maybe Callum Chambers is leaving. I don't know, because I haven't heard confirmation that he signed a new deal for Arsenal. But if we are bringing him in, maybe there's an opportunity to play out there. And I know he can play as a defensive midfielder as well. So there's lots of use for Ben White at Arsenal in multiple positions. But whatever the position that it is for Ben White, I can tell you right now, Ben White is starting for Arsenal in the starting 11. And when our preseason game happens in Florida, in about a month's time, I expect him to start at least one of those games coming up. You would believe that he's probably going to be on the bench. He'll probably get a bit of rest because of international break. And even though Ben White hasn't, I don't think he's played any minutes yet in the Euros, if not, maybe coming up off the bench. He's going to start for Arsenal in that pre-season. But it's a good thing. It's good to see Arsenal kind of making moves. Maybe not making the right type of moves of what I thought, but hey, at least it's a start. So, Arsenal fans, let's get positive. What do you think? Are you happy to have Ben White on board for Arsenal? What do you think about Mavropanos leaving? I'm quite disappointed. You know, I like to see young players get a chance, and I don't think Mavro got enough of a chance to whereby you could say, you know what, goodbye. So I do think that he deserved an opportunity, but never know. But yeah, I'm happy with Ben White. How do you feel, Arsenal fans? Leave your comments below on what your thoughts on that, as well as leaving your comments on Dinos Mavropanos leaving to Stuttgart. Leave your comments below there, and I will see you all on my next video, which should be some links in the description below, as well as within the end screen just there.